What's up? Tyler,
Hello.
Keith, plugged on. Here with an album review. We're going to talk about the new album from the legendary Ozzy Osbourne titled Ordinary Man. This is his 12th album, his first album in 10 years. Follow-up to Scream in 2010.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I guess that was 2010. I feel like... Well, no, yeah, that makes sense, because also... Yeah, because that was his last album, and then Black Sabbath did their last album.
Yeah.
2013? Yeah, so and that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going to say, wow, 10 years doesn't seem like it, but no, that checks out.
Right. So, yeah, Ozzy's kind of been having some health issues recently, and so he hasn't been touring a lot. And so that's kind of, in a way, how this album came about. He wanted to do stuff. And so they wrote this album and recorded it fairly quickly with Andrew Wyatt, and then Duff McKagan's on bass for a lot of the tracks. Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers is on drums for a lot of them. Slash on it.
And a couple. Tom Morello's on this album.
Yep. So kind of got an all-star lineup there. And Andrew Wyatt does a lot of guitar work as well on this one, piano work. So it's an interesting mix for sure. There's no Gus G, there's no Zakk Wylde on this one.
Yeah.
So it's definitely got a different feel to it in terms of riffs. But, yeah. I will say that, just to start it off, that it's an interesting album. And I like it more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
And I liked the first 3 singles he put out. But I just wasn't sure if the rest would kind of be there. I don't think for the most part it is. This isn't Ozzy's best album.
There's a couple songs on here.
There's some good songs on here.
There's a couple songs kind of towards the end where I feel like the album, to me at least, loses a little steam. But yeah, I think honestly, from the first track straight to hell all the way to Eat Me, this album's gold. Because at least at that point, especially the trifecta of All My Life Goodbye and Ordinary Man. I don't know. This album feels like definitely it's more of like this. Not to say that like Ozzy's always like, oh, I'm Ozzy, I have to write this kind of song. These are a lot more of like songs that he wanted to write. Like it just feels like I think Ordinary Man is like. It is a song like that. I did not know that I needed a collaboration between Ozzy and Elton John.
I know, but it's so good.
It's so great. I love that song.
I can't get enough. That might honestly be my favorite song of the year so far.
Yeah,
it's up there.
It's really good. I like this song. I like that song a lot. But I think Straight to Hell is a great opener. And again, On the Graveyard, we reviewed that track a while back, and I still stand by everything. I think I even like that song even more.
Yeah, me too.
Since then. But yeah, and there's a lot of slower songs on this album, which I noticed. Which at first listen to, it was like there's a lot of because Ordinary Man and Under the Graveyard, and I think if I remember correctly, Today's the End is a little bit slower. I think. Yeah, sort of. It just seemed like a lot of the songs like that, but I like that because it just feels different. It's very much like a different, and I agree with you. It's I think it's one of his better solo albums, but it's definitely not his best. The only thing is, I feel like I said, the album kind of loses steam towards the end, especially with I guess the last original song on this album, which is It's a Raid, which is a song that features Post Malone. So the crossover goes both ways. Yeah, which I also just find it very funny that they just put the Post Malone song right afterwards. It's very funny to me.
Which is interesting. And I don't want that to come off as we are metalheads fucking shitting on Post Malone. We honestly like Post Malone, and I like that song.
I love the Take What You Want. I love that song.
Yes. And so it's not really that. I just think that song's fucking awful.
I think that song is the biggest example of either somebody telling Ozzy or Ozzy being like, I know what you're saying, this is just me inferring, of being like, well, you have to have a rocker. You have to put just a fucking boom, that kind of song in there, and then this is the song that came out. But then it's also I don't know if it was hey, I'll collaborate on yours, you want to collaborate on mine. He's like, well, what's a song that would work for Post Malone, which is still, I don't know. Post Malone has shown with a couple of his songs he can kind of do the more heartfelt, or not straight up what you would think for like a rap or like a pop song. So like, it's an interesting song. It's not for me. I mean, I don't like it, but it's also just not for me. But yeah, I like everything about this album. I like the production's great. It's interesting because I didn't know that there was like an all-star cast, but like thinking about like a lot of the songs, I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, and I like a lot of that. I mean, like Slash is in like the opener and Ordinary Man and a bunch of stuff like that. Like, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this album once it started going. Again, maybe first listen to it was like but it was like mostly because I was surprised. Like I'm like, this isn't what I thought it would be, but then boom, it's a good album. I like it.
Yeah, I agree, and I like it. And you kind of got to open yourself to the fact that this is a different album for Ozzy. It's not a riff fest.
No.
And it's got just a different vibe to it. And to me, I just think a lot of these songs are well written and catchy. And, Straight to Hell is a song that is more riff focused, more rock focused. I think that song's catchy as hell, especially that guitar riff during the chorus. And I think Ozzy's vocals during that song is always interesting, especially during the verse of like, "I'll make you scream, I'll make you defecate." Like, okay,
yeah.
At first too, I was like, when I very first heard this song when they put it out as a single, I was like, this is weird, man, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. But then that song's grown on me a lot. But All My Life and Goodbye, I think are two solid songs and have some decent choruses to them and everything. They're not, to me, they don't reach the heights of Ordinary Man or Under the Graveyard, but they're good enough. But then you get to Ordinary Man, and I just think that song's just fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And I truly feel that if that was a song Ozzy put out during the 80s, it would be a staple in his set every fucking night.
Yeah.
And it would be one of his biggest songs. And I'm not saying it still could be. Who knows? But I just think it is so well written, and the lyrics are so fascinating to that song. And him collaborating with Elton John, I think it's something that's cool and that I never thought would kind of happen.
Yeah, and definitely.
It happened. I think it's just such a beautiful song. And then Under the Graveyard's great, but then you get Eat Me. And Eat Me is fucking awesome, dude.
It's groovy as shit.
It is very groovy. I also love the like really kind of epic middle section with the guitar leads and everything. I'm like, this is fascinating. I really didn't think this was going to happen on this song. And when you have a song called Eat Me, I'm like, okay, this could go a lot of different directions. And I think overall it was good. I do like Today Is the End, and it's not a mind-blowing song, but I really do enjoy the chorus of that song. It's got a good feeling to it. It's a different feeling, I think. Scary Little Green Man is Tom Morello's on that song. It's a fun song, but it's once again not mind-blowing. But and then I just can't stand that. It's a raid.
Yeah.
To me, I listen to it, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, it's just so...
You get whiplash listening to that song.
Yeah, just so, like, abrasive and, like, in your face. Like, first time I heard it, I'm like, I can't fucking get through this song. Especially towards the end, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And, it's different. It's different for the album. It's a different thing for Post Malone, too. But if I have to pick one of the two, I'm definitely going to take the Post Malone song with Ozzy, not the Ozzy song with Post Malone.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think it's cool, though, that,
that kind of collaboration can happen.
Yeah.
Like even despite, our opinions on the song that's on this album. Like, that's just cool.
Yeah. Because the amount of people that one song could potentially bring to Ozzy, which then brings them to... potentially down a rabbit hole into other metal bands. There's a total possibility there just because of how big Post Malone's fan base is.
Yeah.
and definitely saw it when that song dropped of like people going, "Who's this Ozzy guy?" It's cool. Post has him on. It's like okay, but yeah, I think it's a cool collaboration for sure. It's overall, it's not the best Ozzy album. I don't even think I'd put it in a top 5. But do I enjoy it more than Scream? Absolutely. And do I just enjoy listening to it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's some really just well written songs on here that I like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? This might be Ozzy's last album.
Potentially, it almost feels like it. It's almost like a fitting thing with this album, which maybe that kind of comes with like some of like the more like there's a lot of songs that are very heartfelt on this album. Definitely.
So
like maybe like that's the mindset going in. Where he's like,
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like the writing's been on the wall for a little while, even before his health problems. I mean, I assume he said this every night on the tour, but when we saw him for the No More Tours thing, he was saying he's done world tours, like he's done touring, doing huge, humongous tours, which is like, oh, that's like almost that's a sign that he's starting to wind down. So who knows?
And then he then announced, we saw him on the first leg. He announced the second leg. Got very sick. Couldn't do that. He had a big tour booked with Judas Priest. They had to postpone that. That was over in Europe. Then they rebooked all this stuff. He was going to go out with Marilyn Manson on that tour, and they just recently canceled that too. So hopefully they'll get around to maybe doing one last run. But yeah, I mean, what a legendary guy. I always say it about bands like AC/DC and stuff. Like, I think it's cool that they tour and then that they put out new music, but they have nothing to prove anymore.
Yeah.
And same with Ozzy. He has nothing to prove anymore, but I think it's still cool that we're getting new Ozzy music. And I'll say this, for being fucking 70, 71, I think he is, he sounds fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Still. There has been no dip in quality of his vocal performance. I think
over his whole career.
He sounds so great on this album. I mean, very well produced as well.
I don't know if there's a single musician who's had, definitely in rock and metal, who's had as like an illustrious of a career as Ozzy. To not only because like a lot of people you see find success in probably the biggest metal band ever, probably the first metal band, some people might say, but then also to go on and have an equally as successful solo career. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, I'm trying to see if I can think of, like, another particular example of somebody who, like, left a band and went off on their own. I mean, I guess even in these ones, maybe Dio, but Dio didn't. I don't think Dio reached his especially his solo. I mean, maybe. But I still don't think he reached as high as Ozzy. I can't really think of anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it is an accomplishment because I mean, it doesn't really matter which band he's touring with. He's playing in fucking arenas in front of thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
Every day. He hit that point. It was like that from there on out for the rest of his career, whether he's with Sabbath or with his solo stuff, and to just have such a legendary career on both sides is crazy. So yeah, we will be ranking all the Ozzy albums. That's our next one.
That's our next one. Yeah.
After the Overkill one, which should be up soon.
Yeah.
Go check that out. But at least there's not 19 Ozzy albums. It's 12. So.
Unless we decide to include his work on Black Sabbath as well.
I think we should do Sabbath separately.
Okay,
I think we'll do the Ozzy solo and then do Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath will be interesting because I think we should do it with the Ozzy era, the Dio era, all the eras just put together.
Just see where that goes. Yeah.
So scores.
I'd give this an 8. I like it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 personally.
Yeah, probably 7.5 to 8 in that range for me. So. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think of Ordinary Man from Ozzy. Thanks for watching. See ya.